Gary Rodriguez, and on behalf of the City of Pharr, we want to reintroduce you to our Department Head Spotlight here with your Public Utilities Director, Mr. Jose Villescas. Joe, thanks for joining us today, and we know you're busy, but we certainly thank you for your time today. What we want to do is introduce you to our citizens here in the City of Pharr, so they'll know who their Utilities Director is, how he got here, what he does, and essentially what he does after work for fun. So first of all, if you would, tell us a little bit about Jose Villescas.
All right, basically I'm from the Valley. I'm homegrown in San Juan. I'm a product of PSJ High School a long time ago. And then I went to the University of Texas where I started engineering and management.
Nice, wow, UT Longhorns, huh?
Yes, sir.
Great, well, we're glad you're here with the City of Pharr. So with respect to what you do for the citizens of Pharr that are watching right now, how could you tell them in layman's terms, something that we all can understand, what the role is of the Public Utilities Director in Pharr?
Well, basically my role is to ensure that our citizens get the water services, sewer services that is required and that is mandated by state. People assume and sometimes take for granted that the tap turns on and everything's great.
Yeah.
But we have very dedicated people who dedicate their time to doing just that, making sure the water is safe, potable, and it's constantly there.
Let's talk about your staff. I know they have to reach certain certifications in order to work in the lab portion of utilities, but who else do you depend on here at the City of Pharr Public Utilities Department?
Well, we have three departments basically. The water plant department is the people who process the water from raw water to potable water. All of those individuals have to be licensed by the state. We have lab technicians there as well who ensure that the quality is being achieved and maintained. The same thing goes for wastewater. At the wastewater plant, we also have certified technicians to treat the water, the effluent coming in and going out.
Okay.
We have people who work at the lift stations, and this is the pump houses where sewer, wastewater gets interjected into the facilities at the wastewater plant. And of course, we have the people who do the maintenance on the lines, water and wastewater. All of these folks have to be licensed.
So it's a well-rounded department. Let me ask you something. Growing up as a little boy, I was always intrigued by the water towers. Do they really have water in there, and how do they get up there with the water, and what happens? How does the water get from there to my faucet?
The purpose of the water tower has a dual purpose. One is to maintain pressure, and two is for those peak demands when we have fire protection necessities. So there's a storage of elevated water to ensure we have a good system pressure.
Okay.
And the water is pumped in there on a daily basis, continuously, all day long, all night long.
Let me ask you this. As citizens, what can we do to help you?
First and foremost is on the water side is conservation. While water is it's a resource, it is a finite resource. We buy water through the irrigation districts and then pump it into our system.
Okay.
But water conservation is very important. On the wastewater side is protecting our infrastructure. People sometimes assume that once you flush it, it disappears. But it doesn't. It has to go through a series of pumps, lines, manholes, and services. There are some things in our household which should not be introduced into the system.
Okay.
And that's how we protect it. You know, wipes and rags. Anything you flush ends up at our work. So anything you can put in a solid waste bin helps out. Okay. It has less loading on our system. And the same thing goes, sometimes we have what's called infiltration and inflow. When it rains, and people sometimes have large volumes of water in their backyard, they remove that little cap so the water can go away. Okay. It goes into our system. And when that happens, of course, it ends up at a wastewater plant. Sure. And it adds to the process.
Okay, so there's ways we can help and there's ways that we can hurt. So obviously, as citizens of Pharr, we want to make sure that we're always doing the right thing to help the Public Utilities Department. Tell us what you do after hours.
I'm a country boy, so I like outdoors.
Okay.
I like hunting, fishing, and don't do as much of it as I used to be, but that's still one of my favorite pastimes, is to be out there hunting and fishing. And with I have 3 daughters.
Oh, great. Well. Great. Good family man, good country guy. Okay, so if our viewer has a question or a comment or a suggestion or even a criticism, we're all open to that.
Correct.
What is their best way to contact you or your department or to relay their message to you?
There are several avenues. One, of course, is to the Facebook media that you have.
Yeah, we get a lot of those. And the
anytime
good thing
that's
is
a
when
good
we send
resource.
it to you, you always address it right away. And you always give us a response that we can share with the Facebook user who had the question or concern.
Each one of our facilities has a number posted at their gates.
Okay.
If it's a lift station, if it's a water plant, if anytime you see something, if nothing else, just call 911.
Okay.
But numbers are posted depending on what department it is. And the fire department also relays messages to us after hours.
Okay.
So we're always a phone call away.
Well, as part of this video, we're going to put a main number on there so
Okay.
our viewer can understand that you're just a phone call away.
Right.
And we thank you for your time today. This is your Public Utilities Director, Mr. Jose Villescas, and you're watching Department Head Spotlight here with the City of Pharr.